Hi there guys, welcome back to another episode of EXCL Garage. So here we are, 2023, new year. Perhaps we might be doing a few things differently this year. Hopefully, one new thing will be this on the road. But as you can see, you've got the GTA 6 back here. Let's give you a little update, tell you what's going on, and I mean, it's basically done, but let's jump into it, shall we? If you're not aware of what this car is or what this project's been up to this point, this is my 2013 Toyota GT86, or Subaru BRZ, BRZ, whatever you want to call it. And over previous years, as you can see, I fitted a Rocket Bunny version 2 wide body kit. Of course, it's missing the front arches at the moment. They're up there. It's missing the bumper. That's there. And the side skirts are there. And the reason why it's missing all of that is because we have been fitting an LS3 in place of the old Boxer engines. It's got a T56 Magnum gearbox behind it. It's also got a Haltech Elite ECU running the whole show. And in my last video, if you've been keeping up to date, you would have known that I took it off to have an exhaust made. Now I've got the car back, and that means the car's basically done. There are a couple of things, however, before I really want to get it MOT'd, get it insured, get it driving. I need to run it in. Of course, this is the first ever time I've done an engine conversion like this, so a little bit wary about just jumping onto the road and driving a few hundred miles, in case I break down, something pops loose, there's a fuel leak, bolts are loose, worst case scenario, bursts into flames or something. So just doing a few things to tidy up first. There is like a small little spanner that's being thrown into that and making life a little bit more difficult, but I'll get onto that in a minute. So first things first, I had to fix a fuel leak, done that. I think I need to do something with the map. It's running a bit strange now. Obviously now it's got OT sensors connected. It actually won't kind of go past about, 2,500 RPM. So I'm going to send those logs off to Haltech and see what they say. Let's talk about the exhaust, shall we? So obviously had it done by Craig at Dyno Talk after fixing the oil pressure issue that the engine previously had. And it's a really nice bit of kit. It's 3 inches from the headers, the sticky headers, down into a couple of cats because I can't be bothered faffing around with worrying about emissions and MOTs and so on, into a center silencer, goes under the subframe, which he notched for me, and it's all been reinforced and it's all good, and out to a couple of silencers at the rear. The only little problem is that the exhaust tips stick out quite far. Unfortunately, because the silencers are like that, and you've got a silencer there, and then it's got an exhaust tip on the end. The exhaust tip sticks out like 8 inches or something ridiculous. I'm going to take this off and trim it at some point. What I'll probably do is I'll probably just cut it in line of the diffuser here. I mean, that's like a whole, 5 inches or so off of that. Do the same on the other side. Try and keep it nice and neat. Flatten it just with a big orbital sander perhaps, so keep it nice and flat. But it's still pretty nice under there. Yeah, you can't see much, but there's some of the work. All very good. But of course, really that's not what we're here for. What we really want to know is how it sounds. So, should we hop in and give it a little start? There we go, after a couple of attempts, finally got there. And as you can see, as you might have been able to hear, sounds pretty good. Don't know why I cut out there. Clearly the map's having a few little issues. Obviously just need to tweak to keep it running, but there we go. And that brings me on to kind of the spanner in the works of all of this. So this unit you see me in here, I'm going to be moving out at the end of the month, just for various reasons. But that's really kind of pushed back a few things that I need to get done on the car. Obviously I want to do things like wrap the exhaust headers, I want to cut those exhaust tips, all things like that. But honestly, I need to get the car out of here, I need to get all the tools and all of the equipment that's in here out of here. We're going to be just storing it somewhere else in the short term. Of course, now that the car is basically finished, doesn't really need like a whole workshop to work on it. I'll probably just get by with perhaps my parents' driveway or such with a bit of a cover or a carcoon or whatever they call them. Yeah, there's a couple of other bits I didn't even show you, but whole new air filter setup I need to do. The one that was on the previously on the car was 90mm. This is 102. This is all 102. So bigger, better, so on. I've just been grinding down this to open this up to get a 102mm pipe through that gap, which has obviously been squished because I want to bring it here. Should be cooler air here compared to in the engine bay here. Maybe not as clean, but should definitely be colder. So that's good. Don't know where we're going to go next from this. I think next thing is I need to finish this off. I might do that exhaust header wrapping. I need to fix the alignment a little bit. I need to put the body panels back on, and then we'll be driving it out of here. Might not film all that, but you'll see it regardless. So let's get on to whatever comes up next. Right, so here we are still in the unit. I told you this episode was going to be a bit of a mad one, and we've got the car back together. Obviously you missed seeing all this going back together, but obviously I'm just kind of like throwing things together now to get the car out of here. So there's a couple of things that have changed since the last clip. Obviously, now it's body panels. It's not looked like this for over a year now. It's a bit of a weird sight. I mean, I don't think the car used to look like this. I'm not even sure it used to be a GT86, but here it is. So, but other than that, got the new intake kind of completed. I say completed, it's still one piece missing, which is this centerpiece here. This is kind of just loosely in there. It needs to be a little bit longer and needs to have a bung in it so the intake air temperature sensor can go in there. Just waiting on that piece to come. For now, that'll do. That goes behind the bumper there where the one originally went when I still had the Boxer engine. Got this header wrapped. Obviously I needed to do that because down here the coolant heater hose is pretty much touching that header, so that wouldn't have survived long without some kind of protection. And I've just got some wrap to do the other side, but I'll do that at a later date. There's nothing really too close to that which is in danger. I mean, there's not a lot else really. I'm just kind of tackling some annoying electrical issues. There's an airbag light on, which is a right pain in the butt because I'm not going to get an MOT with that flashing away. And it doesn't quite run right. As I said, I think I alluded to in the last clip, it idles all right, as you saw, and you can even give it a few revs, but sometimes it'll rev, sometimes it'll die, so who knows. So obviously I'm just kind of on the LS3 Haltech base map, and I think that would be okay for most cars, but because of perhaps the cam in it, it's just being a bit of an arse. So I've made a few tweaks on my map. I'm just going to keep tinkering away, seeing what goes on. I've been watching loads of Haltech tuning tutorial videos and just kind of really trying to understand exactly what I need to do and what I need to give it to get it to run nice. Because it's a bit of a dark art and I don't quite fully understand it. I wish I did. I really wish I could just kind of tune this car myself, obviously without a dyno. I'm going to get it tuned properly. I just want to be able to drive it and take it out for a test drive, get it MOT'd, drive it around for a few hundred miles, let the engine run in on this base map. So hopefully we can get to that point. Fingers crossed. But anyway, we're diving back into that. I'm going to go away and tinker around to this. And then, yeah, next clip, who knows? Catch you then. Well then, as you can see, it's getting pretty empty in the unit here. There's not really much left. As I said earlier in the video, it's all because I'm moving out of here. Unfortunately, the car's still here. It's still not running properly. It's getting to the point where I'm just gonna have to trailer it out of here because it's not gonna be driving out of here. Which is a bit of a shame, but there's just issues upon issues upon issues at the moment into the running of it. I mean, you heard it running, it idles okay. But there's just so many little gremlins that I don't have the knowledge or the skills to fix. I'm not a tuner. You know, I think if this were a bog standard LS without a big cam, then it would probably run actually quite good, quite fine, probably perfectly drivable. But you know, it would start, but it won't rev past like 2,000, 3,000 RPM. It starts to cut up and misfire and do all kinds of weird things. That could be the cam, where the intake and exhaust valves are overlapping. It's like letting too much air in and straight out the exhaust, or it's letting too much fuel in and straight out the exhaust. It randomly stalls after a few minutes. Haven't been able to see why that might be happening. Doesn't slow down and try and catch itself and eventually stall. It just boom off as though the ignition's been turned off. So a bit weird. And it doesn't start after that's happened. Could be a battery voltage thing. It does get quite low when it's in that kind of state. But really, I'm just not sure. I've been speaking to friends locally that are into tuning. I've been speaking to like Howtech groups. I've been speaking to Howtech. I've been speaking to tuners in Australia, and I've just not been able to get to the bottom of any of these issues. So I think I'm going to call it here. I'm going to get the car out of here, finish cleaning up this mess of a workshop, and carry on from a different location. I mean, just now, for example, I started up and one bank of cylinders is totally lean for no reason. Nothing's changed, and yet that's an issue. I don't know why. All fun and games.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
I've been speaking to a tuner in Coventry that I'm hoping to get the car tuned out eventually, but I really wanted to drive it there. I really wanted to put some miles on the engine, do an oil change, things like that before I kind of got to that point. But this is just, not making that realistic, unfortunately. And they don't have availability until late April. So who knows, we might be sitting on this for a few months yet, but we'll go from there. Anyway, didn't really want to end things on a bit of a somber note, but I think that's where we're going to finish this episode. As I say, the car will be out of here, this will be gone. So in the next episode, you'll see me somewhere else. So perhaps you can look forward to that, or, a bit of change of scenery might brighten things up a bit. But anyway, I'm not sure what on earth this video is going to be like. It's been absolute chaos to try and film little bits here and there between sorting out everything. I don't know if it's going to be like 30 seconds long, 5 minutes long, 10 minutes long, 30 minutes long. It's going to be a mad one. So if you did watch all the way through and you actually got to this point, then I thank you for sticking with the absolute madness that has just ensued. And I hope to see you on the next one. As I always say, do all that good YouTube stuff. Like the video if you did like it. You don't have to. Comment would be good. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, it'd be amazing. And if you want to support the channel in other ways, you can become a member of the channel, or you can sign up to the Patreon, which is all down below. Anyway, I'll catch you again next time, guys. Hopefully with good news, and we'll go from there. Cheers. Have a good one. Bye for now.